For all your hemp wellness needs, information, products, parties, and merch, visit thebudplug.com.
It's Mike Ross, also known as Mike on the Mic. He's getting ready for his upcoming 2022 comedy run. He'll be kicking it off at Benny Brand's Dress Factory Comedy Club. Caroline's on Broadway. Punchline Philly. You don't want to miss him take the stage at the DC Improv. Then he'll be coming to the Atlanta Improv and at Chocolate Sunday's Comedy Show in Los Angeles, California.
It's Mike on the Mic. Looking forward to seeing you there.
You don't see people in the mainstream media putting it that way. You don't see people in the mainstream media when you see a Kyrie Irving sharing something that he feels as though is part of his cultural ancestry plane, or we see Kanye West saying what he's saying. It seems as though people in the Jewish community, or I don't want to generalize all of you, but people in the mainstream media that are putting these things out here seem as though they make Black people as a threat to Jewish freedom and Jewish humanity. Do you feel that way?
I don't feel that way, but I understand why certain Jews would, because the message coming across from the African American community seems to imply that we're the true original ones and you guys are imposters. So that type of thought process is what the Jewish people are smelling and sensing out of this. And they're like, guys, that's crazy. My ancestors were killed for being Jewish. We died, every 50 years in Europe by these Europeans because we wore this name, because we lived and died for it. How could you all of a sudden discredit all of that? So I think the Jewish people are very open to unifying and coming together, but not saying, hey, why don't you take the platform because you're the real one and we're not. That's not going to ever happen. So I think the Jewish people feel threatened by that. They don't feel threatened by someone wanting their Torah, to say, hey, if an African-American guy says, I'm from the children of Israel, I want this Torah, this is my Torah. Be like, yeah, this Torah is for everyone. It's an open source. Go take the Torah. But don't take it and tell me I don't have a share in it also. This is my inheritance as well.
I think his name is Alan Greenblatt, the CEO of the Anti-Defamation League. He was doing an interview with Nick Cannon. And the statement that he said was that he knows what comes next after Jewish people start being dehumanized. My question to you would be, he kind of seemed like in the interview that I seen, for the portion, that he didn't really know the history of Black African Americans in this country as well. Because when I did my video, I made a lot of comparisons to what happened in the Holocaust to what happened in this country and what's happening in this country right now, as far as how Hitler used the media, how the media is used against Black people, right now. So are you aware, of not only the history of Black Americans in this country, but what's going on now with us as well?
Yeah, two things. First of all, when he said he knows what comes next, he was speaking out of 2,000 years of trauma. And, that's how the brain works. The brain, if there's an abusive spouse and every time you drop something, you're going to get smacked. So when something drops, you're going to cringe, So he's like, this is what leads to that. So this is our trauma. But at the same time, I think the Jewish people are very unaware of the struggles and the plight of the African American in America. And I made sure, as best as I can to try to understand that, try to grasp it. The way I explained it to other Jews was like, imagine if you woke up and you were in Germany still, and some German Nazi guards were still messing with you guys and like keeping you structured in your place. You would want to get out of there or fix the situation, So you guys are like stuck in the land of your oppressors. These people took you here and they treated you poorly. And then they built laws that didn't give you equal rights, and then brought drugs into the neighborhood, and then brought poverty and put you in buildings, and all this stuff that is falling upon your community. I couldn't even imagine the trauma and the pain from it. So I can't be like, yeah, I know what's going on. I can see it, but I can't feel what's happening on your end. Because my people, we got a homeland already. We got out of Germany, we got reparations.
Right now, a conversation we've had on this platform since since Kanye West went on Drink Champs and said, I don't even know if he said it on Drink Champs, but immediately after he said he was going DEFCON 3 on the Jewish community and Jewish people in Hollywood. And we looked up the definition, and it said it was waging war, being ready for war that was coming against you. But the media obviously took that a different direction. What did you think when you heard Kanye West say he was going DEFCON 3? What was your immediate reaction?
I was like, first of all, he's got to get better terminology. That's like when you say on the Jews, when you use that word, that's like me saying, you know what, there's some Crips and blood gangsters in certain parts of America. So let me think that all African Americans are gangsters, right? That's that same mentality. Because there are some, I'm going to put it on the all, which is not right, because the majority of the African Americans in America are the most beautiful, loving, caring people, wonderful people. Yeah, there are some gangsters out there who didn't have an option to survive, and I'm not even judging them. This is the life they had to live to survive. But so when Kanye says this about the Jews, it's like, Kanye, all you had to do was leave the word Jews out of there and just leave in, the sick people who are ruling Hollywood. I would have been so excited. I would have been like, yo, I'm with you. I want to take those guys out also. I think they're doing a great evil under the sun. But don't let that, they're not on my team. I'm not defending them. They're not cutting me checks. These guys, as I always say, they're not keeping the commandments of the Bible. These guys are sinning. Their children are marrying Gentiles. They're bringing Christmas trees into their house. These aren't people in a generation or two who are going to still be Jewish anymore. These people become, merged into the Roman Greek culture of America. They joined fraternities, put some, Greek letters tattooed on them. They're out. These guys are long gone. So Kanye's just got to have the power of discernment to be like, there's a lot of evil. It happens to be Jewish people who are being selected to play certain roles. Why is that agenda happening or not? We could discuss. But don't mix that up with the Jewish people. These are the Jewish people are wonderful, loving, caring people who want to see a redemption of the world. And we do have our own traumas. So I'm just trying to separate those two realities, the evil that exists within the Jewish people and then the Jewish people itself. Two different things.
So are you saying that what he was saying was correct about the Jewish execs in Hollywood?
Well, listen, it seems to me that the whole thing is owned by a bunch of Jewish guys, so I would be shaded out if I wasn't Jewish also. I'd be like, yo, these guys make up less than 1% of the world and they're just controlling the whole operation here. What in the world's going on? It happens to be Jewish people work very hard. We stick together, we get each other jobs. We're a unit, we're a pack, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's how every nation should be. So you can't hate on us for that. But if Hollywood was doing like righteous things and good things, I'd be like, yo, lay off. We worked hard. We got to this position. We got the power grab and we're doing good for the world. But these guys are doing some very evil things in Hollywood. It's a very dark, satanic, very anti-godly place. There's no God in there. So I have no problem whatsoever being like, we got to cleanse this ASAP. I would be on Team Kanye all day to go against these Jewish Hollywood guys that they should fix their ways, repent, return to God, and do good for the world.